Okay, trying to go live. And I'm live. Woohoo! First order of business is snooze. It's December 1st, which means I gotta pretend to be Santa Claus. If I were allowed to by YouTube, I would have my MP5 and my stereo next to me. I got out my Christmas mug, and the missus gave me something really stupid. Gingerbread cake. I don't know what this is. Merry Christmas, it says on it. It's pear cider with a taste of gingerbread. Seriously, this could be horrible, but let's just try it. How bad can it be, right? It actually smells nice. Feels like I'm drinking Santa Claus's brain or something. So yeah, this is a kind of Christmas cider. I don't know. Let's try it. Skål. It's actually not that bad. It's actually good. I like this. Right, so who's with us? Father Weather Friend, Noble Carl, RA86, Normal Citizen, Mr. Banta, Sick, Mats, Eriksson, welcome back, Scouser69, Carl F, Kalles Kaviar. Good name, Kalles Kaviar. I do love my Kalles Kaviar. When I was a child, I always had a boy, like a chocolate drink if you're not Swedish, and just regular knäckebröd with some butter and Kalles Kaviar, and just dipped it into the boy. And it's chocolate and caviar is a very strange combination, but I love it. Never mind that. Our folk Viking 1 is with us. Captain and Daisy, Norden, Anton, Blood Eagle. Yeah, skål guys. It was actually not that bad. Yeah. I can actually recommend this. I'll probably get a bunch of these for Christmas. Captain got an Infotech mount for his SP5. Ho ho ho. Yeah, that's a good one. That's my favorite mount for the MP5 or G3. The Infotech one. It's better than the Brigger and Tomet one. I can't say enough good things about that mount. It's actually really good. It's always been a hassle trying to get a good mount for an MP5 or a G3 because you have to clamp it to that folded sheet metal receiver, and it's not always that easy. Let's just say that, to get a good solution for that. But Infotech, the Swedish company, actually did a really good job with that. I have a video about that, so I can really recommend their mount if you have one of those firearms. Daisy Cutter says, cheers gun lovers. Yeah. Or Fox said he sold his GSG. Is that like an MP5 22 long rifle or something? GSG makes a bunch of 22 long rifle stuff that's usually shitty. And he didn't order his AR-15. Well, shit. Are we giving up guns? Nitro Smokeless is with us as well. Oh shit, Leo has a terrible fever, so no beer for him. I don't know if it was COVID or whatever. So after I had this stomach thing, I almost immediately last Friday got a slight fever and swollen, whatever these things are called in your neck here. And I had it for like 1 day or 1.5 days or something, then it went away. Really strange. The quickest cold I've ever had. Righty. Mark Servo keeps sending pictures to me of his 1911s. I'm not going to share those pictures because he does stupid things with them. If you're watching this, Mark, you are a silly Florida man. Okay, so our fault couldn't get the delivery of the AR-15 from where he ordered it. Yeah, that's usually the case. So you have to make sure you get a permit to buy first of all for a product that you know you can get a hold of. Most stores don't have inventory anymore. And I guess AR-15s with an 18-inch barrel or longer is going to be just flying off the shelves. And if it's an American AR-15, for example, who knows when they show up again? It could take half a year or something. So yeah. Mark Sorbo is with us. Hello, Mark. Have you been a good boy? You're just gonna get a coal in your sock or something at Christmas. Leo has taken pain medication and anti-fever medication, so he's not gonna wreck his liver with alcohol. That's a good decision. Don't mix those two things. Yeah, so apparently Mark is with us. Love you, Mark. I saw that video of you almost dying or whatever the headline said. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm gonna watch it and then I'm gonna make fun of you on chat later. Right, so let's have a look at the news, I guess. The missus is waiting for me to help her with dinner, so the stream is not gonna be very long today. So the Swedish military, as you can see here, is gonna get new firearms, like the AK-5 or whatever it is he has here. So the thing is, we ordered them from Saco, and it's gonna take like 5 years or something to get it. And if I remember correctly, HK actually appealed the decision for that as well, same as they did with the Heinel, for some stupid reason. But the reason Saco got that to make regular ARs for the Swedish and Finnish military is basically because they wanna, it's corruption or something, I guess, when you wanna promote your own guys and not buy something else like HK. And Sweden actually wanted to buy HK stuff from the beginning. So all the special forces in Sweden, the anti-terror units in the police and whatnot, and the super sneaky high-speed low-drag guys in the military, they wanted HK guns, but we couldn't buy them because France and Norway and whatever countries part of NATO was ahead of them in the line and wanted to buy a shitload of HKs. So they bought LWRCs instead, with a little twisted barrel fluting and all that good stuff. So our special forces has LWRCs. And I guess HK, being HK, is kind of shitty about that. Whatever. But the one thing I noticed here is this part. So the implementation of a new family of firearms is going to take many years. So count with at least 5 years or something before it shows up. And that's why they try to safeguard availability of firearms. So what's happened in the Swedish military is that new recruits, because we have mandatory service, well, for whoever gets picked anyway, there is no AK-5s, all FNFNCs left for them to use. They're basically all broken down, more or less anyway. So they're gonna buy some random shit to give to the recruits. That's some kind of AR platform, I guess. So it's gonna be fun when they compete with the hunters for AR-15s now to be able to actually try to defend Sweden. It's basically these people's fault because they started this process 2012. That's a long time ago now. This is over a decade ago. And how hard can it be? Just get some random AR-15 clone and it's going to be good enough. God damn it, how hard is it? Whatever. We'll see what happens. And this is a motion to Parliament from this guy, Per Söderlund, from the Swedish Democrats. Basically what this is all about is pouring shit all over the media and the police, who has tried to demonize the AR-15 for hunters, calling it a terrorist weapon and calling it a full auto weapon in the media. A bunch of stupid, wrong shit they've said in the media. And it's basically calling out the Justice Minister for Internal Security or whatever, Gunnar Strömmer from the Moderate Party, for not actually doing anything about all the bullshit. So that's interesting to see, at least, that one part of the current government is pouring shit over the other part of the current government. I don't know. This is some stupid article. I saw a clip out from Pia Clarté, our Lord and Savior. They wanna ban children from joining a hunt. When I was a kid in the 1980s, I followed my father out hunting all the time, all during September, October, and whatnot. and I was with him in the forest. And as soon as I could get my own hunting license, I think I shot my first grouse in like early 1990s. When could it have been? Like 1992 or something. A long time ago now. See my white beard. Well, Mark, you're older. and some asshole to expose young people for for violence against animals is against the United Nations Child Convention or some bullshit like that. Fuck you. The meat in your local supermarket is violence against animals. It's muscle tissue from animals. Ban children from the supermarkets. It's equally retarded. People like this, they don't live in the real world. I don't know what they do. So this was interesting as well. So we got 100 million Swedish krona fine for breaking the European Union bullshit with the firearms directive. And I think their motivation for giving that big of a fine was interesting. It's risking the security and protection about borders, security issues, basically with criminality. So and they say that since Sweden has a lot of firearms violence, we really should have implemented the firearms directive back in 2017, because we have so much firearms violence. The thing is, we get our firearms from former Yugoslavia, mostly, or other Eastern European countries, and they are smuggled into Sweden. The firearms directive does nothing against that, because all the other countries those firearms went through had the firearms directive, while we didn't. All it ever does is limit civilian gun ownership. So yeah, it's full of shit. These people don't know anything about anything, and everything they want to do is get more power for bureaucrats in Brussels, and basically fuck those guys. Yeah, and the firearms directive is meant to be like a trade regulation, and first they motivated it with being against terrorism, and then they had to say that it is actually not against terrorism. It's against like, I don't even know what the motivation was, like some kind of trade thing, that you shouldn't be able to buy whatever, however, you need to control it, whatever. And it's not even that, it's just limiting gun ownership for civilians and making life harder for firearms enthusiasts. And yeah, it's political opportunism. In 2015, when they started dreaming it up, it came into power. It came into place just like the week after the Bataclan massacre in France. And since France needed to be strong against terrorism, they implemented this. But the firearms directive was already prepared. I think it was 5 days after the Bataclan massacre. This was put forward in the European Union, in Parliament. And France supported it because they wanted people to view them in a positive light. We're fighting against terrorism. Meanwhile, they're letting in more and more Muslim immigrants into Europe, who all are basically savages when you look at their actual political opinions. So do one thing, which is tyranny against law-abiding people, and on the other hand, anarchy for the people actually committing the crimes. Yeah, fuck those guys. And last week I talked about a hunter shooting himself in the leg and dying. And this week, one hunter shot another hunter in the leg. It's just, the stupid never ends. Fortunately, this guy survived. But it's very easy to die if you're shot with a hunting caliber in your leg, because you have like a really big vein going through there, and if you nick that bastard, you're just gonna bleed out in a minute. I'm not even joking. You're dead in a minute. There's zero chance to survive that. And I'm gonna reiterate from last week, if you're talking about police officers shooting the criminal in the leg instead of in the face, you're stupid and you should shut up. The leg can be a lethal wound very easily. And if a police needs to use their firearm, it's threat of deadly violence, and he should use it to kill the threat. Righto. So I saw this one as well. So suspicions against a guy who shot a bear is removed. So some guy shot a bear in self-defense. And I've said this many times. This exact scenario happened 300 meters away from me. A hunter shot a bear, and he killed it like 3 meters in front of him. The bear went down, and something similar happened here. And in my case, the hunter who killed it, the bear, got a charge against him for illegally shooting a bear as well. And that was dropped. But the media still, regular media, not this hunting media, never put in a retraction. They just demonized my friend in my hunting team. So yeah, but anyway, this guy as well got off free. But bears are dangerous animals. They're animals, unpredictable. So another thing that happened, some guy forgot to renew his permit to store firearms. So a man stored firearms at his son's place. And this exact scenario happened to me as well. My family lived in North Africa for many years, and I still live in Sweden, but I visited them all the time. I was there for the revolution in North Africa, when they tried to gain some kind of democracy or something, and then the Muslim Brotherhood hijacked that, and I was there in place, and I saw the bodies and burning buildings and all that shit. That's another story and probably its own video. But anyway, this was a long time ago now, back in 2010 or something. And anyway, so my father stored his firearms at my place while he was living there. And what this guy did was you get the storage permit for, I think it's like 3 years or something like that. It can depend. But when those are almost up, you need to apply for a renewal for storing the firearms at another place. And he forgot it, apparently. So a paperwork error. And now he's a criminal. And he's probably never going to be able to hunt or own firearms again. And this is what I'm talked about earlier in the stream. It's one law for them, another law for us. You are a law-abiding person. You have your paperwork. You try to follow the rules. You make one mistake and then you're fucked. And that's the tyranny part. That's where they can monitor your phone and computer without even having a suspicion of a crime against you anymore in Sweden. It's all that stuff that's just piled on top of law-abiding citizens. The lost taxpayers in Sweden gets tyranny pushed down their throat. And then we have this. This guy was freed from a crime even though there was DNA on the handgun. A criminal had an illegal handgun, but is freed from a crime, even though the DNA, his skin or whatever it was on the handgun. So one law for them, another law for us. It's anarcho-tyranny. It's anarchy for real criminals, like the criminals who steal all the money from our social security systems and all that. I think it's calculated that they steal more money from our taxpayer money than even the military costs, like over 100 billion Swedish krona in that way. And no one gets punished because we have zero rules for it. There's a lot of political parties in Sweden that has their raison d'etre or the reason for existence is handing out taxpayer money to idiots. That's how they buy votes. They don't actually care for what is good for Sweden. And that's why this happens. Everyone from the top part of the justice system down to the middle management is a political commissars in Sweden. And that's not just the courts, it's the police, it's the secret police, it's everyone. They're all incompetent political commissars, basically. And you can see it here. Here's another example. It's not gun related, but I thought it was interesting. So a bunch of students in Malmö in south of Sweden, country famous for being the most anti-Semitic place in Sweden. They said that all Jews must die, showed the Palestinian flag, told everyone about how they basically liked a mustached guy from Germany back in the day, and a bunch of extremely anti-Semitic shit. And if a white person, if I said that shit, I would be in jail. Nothing happened to them. They made excuses for them. One law for them, another law for us. So yeah, there we go. Welcome to Sweden. Merry Christmas. So, what are you guys saying in chat here? Mark is in a fantastic Cuban restaurant in Tampa, Florida, I guess, right now. Well, you shouldn't watch me. You should continue eating. Hello, KillKing110. A path trampled by the air. Glad you didn't turn into a human lawn dart, Mark. I need to watch that video. Kill King says, yes, even here in the United States, the military switching to the SIG Spear is going to take like at least 8 years. Yeah, but the US military is so much larger than Sweden's. We have a couple of thousand people or whatever it is. It's an extreme logistical nightmare to change the firearm for everyone in the United States military. That it only takes 8 years, that's admirable. Daisy says Swexit, god damn it. Yeah. Oh shit, a path trampled by deer had back surgery today, so I have to apologize for anything stupid I say. For the other times I have no excuse. Okay. I remember when I had internal bleedings in my stomach after my failed stomach ulcer removal. My failed hernia removal. Well, it succeeded. They put in some plastic netting or something inside my stomach, but it got infected and I got a lot of internal bleeding, and all the blood went into my balls and they turned like this big, and it coagulated in there and it was like having barbed wire inside of my balls. Imagine getting kicked in your balls 24/7 every second. So a lot of pain. So yeah, I had a shitload of morphine when I was in the hospital. And yeah, you couldn't probably have a decent conversation with me anymore because I was high as shit. But better that than just screaming incoherently. Nitro says it's scary to hear about the hunting accidents. Yeah, shit. So old hunters are probably the most unsafe persons ever with firearms. They need to respect firearms more. God damn it. They're lethal death sticks. Don't point them at your leg or some other leg. Stop pointing guns at legs, people. And stop fondling the trigger while you're doing it as well. There are some really easy to know gun safety rules in place for a reason. Kalle reminded me just of chat control. Yeah. So they want to read all your chat messages before they're sent away. That's the TLDR of that. So they have a EU regulations that's coming in place where they want to monitor everything you say on chat. So if you have Signal or what else is there? There's Session, there's Telegram, there's a bunch of them. You want to read everything you write on every encrypted software. So it's going to be not long before everything you type into your phone is going to be readable by the police. So I don't know what to do about that. These devices are so locked down, you don't have access to anything on them. It's really hard nowadays to get a phone like this so that you can do whatever you want with it. And there's probably going to be rules in place sooner or later where they're going to have total control of encryption, total control of money, and there's going to be the social security bullshit that China has. It's going to be implemented in Sweden or European Union or the United States as well for that matter. Yeah, they just want more control over you. And the real criminals, like the politicians, right? They're going to do whatever they want. It's going to be like some kind of cyberpunk techno dystopia on crack. I don't know what the solution is. Go offline, I guess. But yeah. Jon Hansen says, why do people get super fancy 22 long rifles when the Sauer 200 STR in 22 long rifle is so good? That is a good question. So it's very common in Sweden to have a Sauer 2200 STR because there's so many and it's such a good rifle. It's just perfect the way it is. You don't have to modify it a lot to be able to do shit with it. Have you seen the videos with me doing long range shooting with my Sauer 200 SDR? It's just so good. Me just hitting immediately at like over a kilometer, no problems. And then when you put a 22 barrel in it and a 22 system in it with a bolt and a magazine, it's just as accurate. And you don't even need fancy ammunition with it. I hit every time with like at 50 meters shooting at a target that's like this big, like slightly larger than the caliber. I can hit it. It's not a problem at 50 meters. And if I go out to 200 meters and have like a target like this, no problem. Just do wind holds. Yeah, it's good. You don't need something fancy. And it's easier because, well, you get basically 2 rifles in one. Or Fox says, my chat messages are almost all XXX rated. It's just pictures of your penis sent to people who don't really want those pictures. Just admit it. Kill King gives a good suggestion on a solution, and then he ends it with, unless they make it that illegal. They will make it illegal. Yeah. And then you just have to learn how to go around them actually spotting you doing something like that. Hello, Tom Anders. Did you get your Cerakoted rifle? Kane. Yeah. Hello, Kane. Nice Christmas theme. Yeah. So, yeah, I have to give a shout out to this drink. Gingerbread cake, Merry Christmas thing from whatever that says. This is actually really good. It's really good. I need to get more of this. So it's too warm for the hat now. Anyway, so the last 2 weeks of December I have vacation. So I'm probably going to try to head out to the range, whichever one is still open at that time, and do some videos. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It's going to be fun. I have some videos planned, and I'll try to do that. I posted some videos now that I had on a backlog, like the bunker videos and all that good stuff. So I'll try to make some new content for you guys. I hope you enjoy it. Tom Anders had his rifle Cerakoted in Patriot Brown. Patriot Brown. Is that racist? Some Democrat in the United States probably believes that is a racist sentence. Where there's a will, there's a way. Yeah, well. And if it isn't, just use more lube. Alright. I'm all out of gingerbread cider. So I'm gonna go with the missus and have dinner now because she's waiting for me. You guys have a nice weekend, and I guess I'll talk to you next Friday. I'm going to the south of Sweden next Friday to build a network, physical network infrastructure for a new office in Malmö actually. So I don't know. I'll try to time the flight so that I'll be able to hold the stream. But just if I'm late or something, that's why I'm gonna be a little bit stressed coming from the flight. I might have to like do a live stream from my phone if I need to stay longer or something. But whatever. There's always beer. Tom has vacation now, so he can join me at the range. Well, good, Tom. Let's go to the range together then. Right, dinner. You guys have a nice weekend, and I'll talk to you some other time. Boop.